Welcome back. We are continuing through element 23 of your life book, which is Master Your Thoughts and Emotions. We're actually going to be looking at pages 456 to 461 today. All right. So Dr. A says that by the time we reach 14 years old, most of us has the skills and the capabilities required to function in an adult world. He's like, there's really no burning need to develop further. We graduate from high school, we either get a job or we go to college and then start a career. Dr. A says that this is the element where he is going to help us to wake up and grow up. His thought process is that if he can help awaken us and expand our awareness so that we are less attached to any one perspective of how life should be, our window of flexibility to whatever life throws at us can improve. And because we're developing a progressively deeper understanding of ourself and our world around us, it'll give us the freedom to choose the responses that support our optimal health and well-being. All right. So he wants us to, he wants to help us increase our capacity to step up to the challenges of modern life. And this conscious path will allow us to move from our ego or self-orientation state to one of being more social and in service of mankind, from the me to the we. Okay. This path, well, it's also going to help us build emotional agility. It will help us approach our inner world with an orientation that is curious and courageous and compassionate, but which also helps us choose actions that are highly supportive to our values. All right. So he actually begins and he asks us a question, and which one is more like you? So A, are you open-minded, curious, and have a burning desire to grow? Or B, are you closed-minded, defensive, have a desperate need to be right? So he says, if you answer yes or A, like to the first question, then you are currently in a creative or growth mindset, which means that the material we're going to cover over the next few sessions, it's actually going to appeal to your increasing awareness of yourself and the world, because you're already, you're ready to move from the wanting to change to now being willing to change. All right. If you answered yes to the second question about being closed-minded, defensive, or a desperate need to be right, Dr. Ray says that it's going to be important to use some of the insights that you've been learning throughout this book, because that may soften up your tendency to react rather than to respond. All right. It takes moving into that present state and knowing where you are in relation to your desire to grow versus being right. This emotional resiliency or the ability will allow you to deal with any number of troubling thoughts, emotions, or stories, right? And yet manifest in a way that is the highest version of yourself. So this is a super important element. And Dr. A, he sets some ground rules here, and he asks us to practice the exercises and document our progress that he's going to go through so that we can better recognize and manage our emotions and our responses. He also suggests that we go back and reread element 4. This will give you the opportunity to review really how far you've come. So think about it. We're now in element 23. So for many of us, that's 19 weeks ago. All right. So here we go. Dr. A, he asks, what determines how much or how often and how healthy we really eat? What determines that? And what determines how active and how often you really exercise? The answer, our emotions. Okay. Our emotions affect us every second of every day. They are the energy that directs every aspect of our life. They're deep. Okay. It's this ancient central role in directing our brain and our mind. And it's really just unfolding as we start getting more understanding of our interpersonal neurobiology, how that all goes together. All right. So when functioning as designed, our emotions connect with our biology and our behavior. And it's this beautiful resonating song that flows through our body and it creates this sense of well-being. But the inability to successfully navigate our emotions is now thought to be the central cause of almost all disease and lack of well-being. That's a pretty bold statement, right? So Dr. A goes on to ask us, how well would you say you manage your emotions currently? And which areas do you struggle with most? These are the two questions I'm going to leave you with, and I want you to think about until we come back for the next segment. So this is where we're going to end today. All right. Those two questions. How well would you say you manage your emotions currently? And which areas do you struggle with the most? All right. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to keep going through element 23. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about mismanaged emotions. All right. So thank you for joining me. Element 23. So please feel free, like, comment, share the post. Hop on over to the YouTube channel called Healthy and Vibrant, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.